We are shattering records and tracking the potential for severe weather. What's going on, guys? Certified meteorologist Jonathan Kagas back with you. In this video, we're going to highlight the threat area for the potential for severe weather on Tuesday. It's in the same area that we're talking about record-breaking temperatures, and really that is super expansive. We'll show you that and talk about the temperatures. And then we're going to try something new here. We're going to give you the weather across the country, show you the high-resolution future radar, and then take you into temperatures for the United States and Canada. So stick around toward the end of the video for that. If you want to go to each one of those separate things and don't want to watch the whole thing, although I hope you do, you can find the chapters in the description as well. So just click on that time code to find what you would like. Before we get into the video, first, I want to thank all of the new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for stumbling across us. I'm glad you are enjoying the content. If you want to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. Again, if you find this content helpful, please give us a thumbs up. It really does help us out a lot. All right, so first and foremost, here is the threat area again for tomorrow. This is going to be on February 27th. The recording is February 26th here, so this is going to be for Tuesday. Want to make sure we have the time and date out there, and we have that accurately listed here going across in this video. Level 2 out of 5, so it's a slight risk here for parts of Missouri, getting into Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, and parts of Ohio. That's going to include Detroit, Toledo, from Indianapolis to St. Louis, Peoria, into Chicago. That is going to be your highest opportunity for severe weather, and we'll show you that hour-by-hour timeline and high-resolution radar coming up in just 1 second. The lower-end severe threat, not zero, but it's not sky-high, is going to be from about Erie to just to the west of State College, PA, including Pittsburgh and Elkins, West Virginia, and then into Columbus, Ohio, down for us into Paducah and Lexington, extreme northwestern Kentucky as well. So that is going to be where we're watching for the potential for some storms to get a little rowdy on Tuesday, especially later on into the day. So we showed you this last week that we likely have some ongoing rain and thunderstorms to the east of the main event. There it is early in the afternoon on Tuesday, February 27th. Again, there's the day of the week, there's the date, and then the time in Eastern time is right on through there. So we're going to subtract that hour, of course, to get into Central. Here we go. This is going to be later on into the evening. So here is the main event, if you will, with some nasty thunderstorms. Again, this is going to be 8 to 9 o'clock time frame, rolling out of St. Louis toward Indianapolis, south of Chicago, south of Peoria at this time, with some nasty storms again on the doorstep of Detroit. So we're going to be watching that closely for you guys. As we move into the midnight hour, so notice how late this is. We have those scattered thunderstorms, again, the darker reds indicating the higher intensity, kind of pushing east of Detroit, right around Toledo, and just kind of skirting Lake Erie there, and then extending back towards Bloomington, Indiana, into Indianapolis, Indiana, and then right along the Kentucky-Indiana border there. So we'll be watching that, and then through the early stages of the overnight, could have a few residual stronger thunderstorms in the pre-dawn hours of Wednesday, and that's where that marginal risk is. I want to go back and show you, there's also a little bit of light snow, and we're going to highlight this a little more detail in the weather across the country segment coming up in a couple of minutes. But nonetheless, notice we have some light snow on the back end of this, toward Minneapolis, even into Kansas City, Kansas. You see the light dark blue there, the lighter blue and the dark blue, so a nice little burst of moderate to even heavy snow there. And then that pushes back to the east. Again, it's nothing crazy for us in Chicago, but we're likely going to see a few flakes flying early on Wednesday morning. Again, accumulations light, if any. Here is the setup again. We were showing you this last week. There is our dip in the jet stream right there, extending through Denver, and then it's kind of working its way just like this. So there's that neutral to maybe a little bit negative tilt. Again, the negative tilted troughs really help to enhance the severe weather risk. Certainly the severe weather risk is there. It is outlined by the Storm Prediction Center. We've been talking about it for about a week. This still doesn't scream outbreak. That doesn't mean we could have a few really, really intense thunderstorms, but nonetheless, that outlook being 2 out of 5 as well from the Storm Prediction Center also says that. And then we could have some stronger winds here as we have this trough becoming negatively tilted. This is going to be Wednesday now, February 28th, with some inclement weather kind of pushing through there at the base and then to the north and east of that trough. So something that we're going to watch is that kind of focuses itself into the interior northeast area later in the day on Wednesday. So something that we are going to watch as well. I want to show you something else too, and this kind of defines that area that we just highlighted in terms of the severe weather, but this is the storm fuel. Meteorologically, we call this CAPE, convective available potential energy, and that means this is the energy available for storms to take advantage of. Now, they have to get going in order to take advantage of this energy that's in the atmosphere. But here's the best opportunity for it. And you see where that red turns to be that bright yellow here? So kind of right in southern Illinois through western Indiana, and then kind of button hooking back towards the Iowa border in Illinois. That's going to be our best instability, our best fuel for those storms to take advantage of. And you see that get a little brighter here. So we strengthen, we maximize that instability. Look at the time at the top of your screen, 9 o'clock. So late into the evening, and that matches up there with that high resolution future radar that, again, a few of these storms are going to get rowdy. There's enough instability, there's enough fuel to work with, and there's a little bit of wind shear as well because of that upper level energy, that trough that's kind of blasting through here. So those are the things that we're going to watch, and then it kind of disintegrates a little bit, and that's one of the reasons why that severe threat goes down to the east. Of course, we're getting early into the morning on Wednesday. You need the sun to be out to really maximize that instability, or at least the heating of the day, and we lose that a lot as we move forward. So that's the severe weather risk. Any questions, post them in the comments. Also would love to know where you're tuning in from, so post that in the comment as well. I want to show you this. This is just insane. The amount of warmth, and again, this is fueling that severe weather threat, of course. You need to have that warmth to build the instability. The amount of purple on this map is mind-blowing. From central Texas all the way up to the Canadian border, even into southern Canada. Winnipeg, we're really warm as well. We are maxing out the scale. This is 30 degrees plus temperature, 30 degrees above normal. This is above normal. So it's not the temperature. I'll show you what the forecast is going to be in just 1 second. But this is the amount of degrees above normal. And it is insane again. Shattering records in this area. And that will, again, move to the east a little bit as a cold front comes through and kind of squeezes everything over. Now notice in that same area by Wednesday, this is a big cold front again, that's what's kind of triggering the severe weather threat, but we take things below normal quickly. So there's going to be some weather whiplash coming your way in the upper Midwest, northern plains, even parts of the deep south again, even into the north and east. I'll show you the temperature forecast in just 1 second as that kind of blasts right on through. So I want to show you the temperatures for the next couple of days, and I'll get my head out of the way, and I'm kind of doing something a little new today, especially for our Canadian friends, and we'll keep this up here as well. Where we get into Canada, you see this secondary number up here, and let me know if you guys like this or if it's too much stuff on the screen. I know it can get kind of cluttered on here, but that number to the right is going to be in degrees Celsius, so you don't have to do any conversion when you watch on this channel. So you clearly see where the bubble of warmth is. I mean, we're pushing 90 degrees in Texas, pushing 60 in the Twin Cities, mid-70s in Kansas City, Des Moines. We need some moisture. It is going to be warm. We could use some snow there as well. And then here comes our cold front getting into Tuesday. So this is going to be 7 o'clock in the morning. It's just to the northwest of Minneapolis. Notice in Edmonton, we're 10 below Fahrenheit, 24 below Celsius. We're 14 below in Bearskin Lake, 26 below in Celsius. All of that colder air then blasts in behind that front, and it squeezes all of this warmth. You see Orlando getting back to the mid-70s. Look at this. I mean, it's just crazy how warm it is. St. Louis in the low 80s. I mean, I know it can happen, and it certainly has before, but here is our front. You see it just, I mean, that's a 50-degree drop plus from the 80s that we'll see in St. Louis tomorrow to the temperature that we wake up to on Wednesday morning. So, again, this is going to be significant change, and we're going from the 60s in Minneapolis to single digits. Wind chill is likely below zero. There's the warmth still hanging on to the east, and then that slides all the way through. All right, also wanted to give you a look here. I wanted to show you kind of the nationwide picture in addition to this. Let me take this full screen again to get my head out of the way. We'll talk about the West first. And these are where we have winter storm warnings in the higher elevations of the Cascades, also the higher elevations into Wyoming, Montana, Billings. We have a winter weather advisory in purple. We have a winter storm watch from International Falls to Fargo. That's what that system coming through, that cold front that's going to blast through. Then the higher elevations of New Mexico into Colorado, Aspen, going to get some snow. Winter weather advisories for the Sierra Nevadas as that system kind of curls its way down the coast just a little bit. I want to show you the high-resolution future radar now. This is going to be something that I want to kind of bring to the table at the end of every video, or where it fits, just to give everybody kind of a perspective on what is going on across the country and to match the advisories with what's actually going on. So there's Monday, February 26th, and you see the snow there in the higher elevations of Idaho into the western part of the country, into the Cascades, towards Portland, higher elevations anyway. And then there's some of the snow in the Sierras. Now, here is that next system that slides right on through. This is what changes everything up and takes the unseasonably warm air to bring us to the single digits. That's the cold front. And we have that snow. We have that area of low pressure kind of develops along that, and then gives us some much-needed snow in the Arrowhead of Minnesota, the Iron Range of Minnesota, in the northern tier of the country. There it is, and it continues to blast its way into Toronto, Ottawa, getting a little bit of snow as well, even parts of interior New England. But again, that's really all I have for you in terms of the snow for New England. It would be interior. We're certainly not going to get this on the I-95 corridor, where I know a lot of people really want the snow. I wanted to end with this. The thumbnail of this video showed all that warmth, and the title was "This Pattern is Concerning." Certainly it brings that severe weather risk, but this is the more concerning part, and I've had a lot of comments on this as well over the last several videos about just how crazy it is that the snow is just not there in the upper Midwest. Anywhere you see these numbers on the screen that have that rust color, we are in the midst of our warmest winter on record, and that's basically all of Minnesota, through parts of Michigan into Wisconsin, a lot of the Northeast. Ski resorts have been suffering, at least in parts of the Northeast. There's been some ski resorts in Vermont, Pennsylvania, western slopes of West Virginia, and Virginia that are doing okay. But there's a lot of warmth up here, and again, for the entire season. So that is why this is so serious, because farmers in the Midwest, we need the snow. The nitrogen helps. I've talked to a lot of farmers in my day as a meteorologist, and we need that snow to be there, especially in the upper Midwest, even out into the west, parts of California, Pacific Northwest. Look at that, warmest on record just in the northwest of Seattle, second warmest in Seattle. And then where you see the red color, that is where we have the top 5 warmest winter on record. Of course, we only have 5 more days for meteorological winter to be here. We end that in those 3-month increments. So most of these spots that I just showed you are going to end with their warmest winter on record. So again, that is why it is serious, and some of those are not even close. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, thank you to all of the new subscribers. Really appreciate the support. If you found this content helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to stay updated on all things weather as we venture through the rest of quote-unquote winter and head into the spring severe weather season and eventually hurricane season, you have to hit subscribe. Please do that, and we will catch you next time.